We're going to talk about the flipping in this episode because, yeah, it did happen. Stay tuned to find out what I mean. We will discuss Bitcoin, the Bitcoin chart, and where it is headed. Keith will be speaking with us. All the details you require to understand the outlook for the markets over the next few weeks, people. Every single day that goes by brings us one step closer to the parabolic blow up top for Bitcoin, the rotation of all coins, and the tremendous pump that will soon be coming to XRP. Fried, Sam B. What is the number of your years? Believe that he ought to handle incarceration properly. We received an answer from the DOJ, and I generally concur. Let's get started. Take a seat, unwind, and Bitcoin 67,900 Ethereum is currently down 44% and down 63% in the last hour, although it is up 2% over the last 24 hours. Currently, it is at 3,668. Both USDC and USDP arriving at their respective dollars peg with a mean lean of 62 cents, XRP is declining. They currently hold 25% of the whole Bitcoin market capitalization, which is $2 trillion. They are in a really peculiar situation, am I right? Under the all-time highs of 2017 or 202 to 2021. Before Bitcoin reached just over 73,000, we had already surpassed it for the very first time, so the question now is, where does Bitcoin intend to go? We know the halving is approximately 4 to 6 weeks away, so we know the halving is coming. Typically, after a spike, the price of Bitcoin would retreat before making its last surge. So, where are we now? Going to be where Bitcoin is expected to be. As far as I can tell, Bitcoin is taking off to trend into this area, but I believe we reach the $80,000 range far sooner than most people believe. What does that signify for the market as a whole? I believe there is some indication of a downturn for the remaining markets. Currently, though, I do think that generally we're looking at just a range, and that range will be choppy, filthy, and dirty. Folks, just brace yourselves for this. And buckle up. The girl who vanished in crypto says, folks, the real flipping has happened. Examine this when discussing flipping. Bitcoin performs better than Google searches and Taylor Swift. When Bitcoin flips Taylor, this is flipping, the game is finished. Fully concluded, I would like to inform anyone who was not aware of yesterday's events that they should immediately let the bulls run. Inc. is the Global Metaverse Partnership Agreement. Signed, and pay attention to the agreement. I will now begin disseminating information on this, as their web browser is all that exists. Basic Unity game where the metaverse is accessible. It's free and available now. It's cost-free. Remember that it's free? Since it's free right now, you want to open an account to ensure that it remains free of charge. If it switches to a paid membership, you will be required to pay. You can thus get the free account right now. You sign up for it, so you have it, so you get the grandfather right, even if you don't use it. It's an incredible, fantastic location. Here's a small hint, I'll show you this subtle one. Stream if you enter the arena. May see a unique surprise. Look into that, many have already done so. Payment message sent using the ISO 222 standard messaging protocol. A Quorum representative has updated the website with a new simulator, no magic involved, just XML, and the primary driver behind the adoption push isn't your cryptocurrency but rather digital currencies and stable coinage issued by central banks. People, this is really big. CBCs are becoming more and more popular. Observing the use of stable coins, it's all just starting to materialize. Everyone battled for the longest time over it, and central banks are now using digital currency. Everyone is in favor of CBDCs. It's as though they fought for the survival of Bitcoin. I've heard around 92 times that no one will use or adopt Bitcoin, but look at it today. Digital currency issued by central banks continuing with the same story. Nobody will produce or utilize digital currency issued by a central bank, and nobody wants digital currency issued by a central bank. Everything is evolving, and the changes are credible. $200 million worth of Bitcoin bids have been reported by crypto. Perhaps they should wait. He said last week that he was in that 63 to 64,000 zone, so what is he thinking? Believing that since there is more than $200 million lying there, Bitcoin may fall from 63,000 to 64,000. How do we just touched 67, so might we be witnessing a pushdown from where we are at 68? This is the dip that's under discussion. Obviously, it will pull the rest of the market down with it if it hits that $63,000 barrier. I'll tell you up front that I'm eyeing ADA. And that I'll be purchasing a ridiculous amount of Cardano. I'm sure I've discussed it previously. In fact, I flipped it on when I sold a lot of Cardano. I am investigating it due to the realization that I should have taken advantage of the H-bar when it was priced between 23 and 30 cents, but it is still possible for this one to develop into a formidable force. It seems to fluctuate between 70 and 75 cents. It truly moves when it does. Move around a lot, it's difficult, but you understand that I'm not a trader in this range, don't you? I would much rather pay 70 cents for this item than have it drop into the 60-degree zone, but to be really honest, the headache is not worth it. I feel rather at ease. I believe we're looking at a significant price hike if we purchase this gadget for 70 cents. I'll be content with you knowing that I'll be happy with it 10 or 20 times over during the bull run for this. Earning that kind of money, but in my opinion, she's not worth it, so sit here and stare at this thing, hoping it drops even further. I'm not a merchant. I'm purchasing. Holding that, when the bull run ends, I will sell. That's all there is to it. Here is a clip of Butin that is italicized. Discussing with Stephen the errors and allowing Charles Hoskins to depart Ethereum. This is merely a little video from an almost 3-hour discussion, and in this video, they are acknowledging Charles as the key to his resurrection. What has everybody been following? There are no holds on Stephen Knopf's release. He is unaffected by his appearance. Much, warning you about Ethereum security and deception, he's just letting go. He's even said he'll continue. Anyone's cryptocurrency indicates that they are interested in anyone's YouTube channel. You can ask him anything, and he won't hold back. No longer pay attention to this Gav doesn't. He understands that his business persona must support him, but he does not desire to be the CEO. The WS need to talk about it a lot more. In my opinion, if Charles is the answer to that, whatever he is and what he's going to be doing, in other words, if Charles had a clear mandate from you, one that gave him essentially the freedom to do his tasks, I'm sure that I could work with him. There's a ton of garbage behind this. I find it amazing that these major news outlets haven't followed up on the Ethereum incident with Stephen just now. You saw this the other day, I think. Keith after Keith discussed the XRP chart. I would like him to provide you with an update on the direction and future outlook of Bitcoin. He is comparing this bounce cycle to the previous bull cycle, and he will compare the overall amount of cryptocurrency with the parabolic blow-off tops. I want you to pay close attention to what he has to say. With the amount of money that is going to be invested in these markets, we can pull a complete charade. To fit everything on the screen, I'm actually going to flip to the weekly for a brief time. This is why log mode is so crucial. Linear mode loses its appeal, and you can't have these large moves that fit on the chart. Instead, I'm going to drag it to the right, moving from the high of the previous bull market to the low of the bear market. Okay, that turned out to be about 2,272, so that's okay for it to occur. Moment, I want you to know that this will be an enormous sum of money. The entire market capitalization is shown here. I want you to follow along with me so we can monitor this as we work. Please bear with me here, since it may initially appear strange. I have a complete market cap in 3 boxes here. I apologize for drawing that. I'm hoping that by this year, we reach this level of $7.2 trillion, which is where I think the price will go. Up here, you can see the blow-off at the highest heights. That's 18 trillion and 12 trillion, respectively. Now let's get back to Bitcoin. This is the 2020 or 2024 chart, which we previously mentioned might show a possible par blow-off. I'll flip that to the weekly as well, and we'll both tell the same lies. Now, listen to where that would take Bitcoin. That we dragged from 2020 to 2016 over to 2024, okay? In the same manner, we'll drag it over 4 years, from the top of the bull market to the bottom of the naked market. That would be around the end of 2025 for every cycle. Yes, those are the blow-off levels. Between $315.00 and $473.00, how much money is that? That is, compared to where we are now, that is a 5x and an 8x. Roughly speaking, the entire market is worth $7 trillion, or about $618,175,000. I think that's where we are at this point. Market capitalization for cryptocurrencies is expected to reach $7 trillion, with Bitcoin valued at approximately $100,777,000. I doubt that we ever witnessed a large bull run once more. Institutions are here, as you are aware. They will be incredibly stable. In these markets, these tokens won't be available on these exchanges for 2050 XRPs. Additionally, I think that several cryptocurrencies will simply surpass Bitcoin in value shortly. We'll call it 70,000 here if it reaches 177. Really, what are you focusing on? 2 times is 7,421, not just 1. It is part of a straight 7 if it doubles once more. 40 XRP Cardano XLM mini assets will outperform Bitcoin, but many people are becoming enthused about Bitcoin because of its large number. They will have 5 to 20 times in them. Surely, it's not about that huge figure. For $70,000, you purchased 1 Bitcoin today. And you offered it for sale at its peak, or as a new peak, we called 177, and you fulfilled our request. It's 1.5 times, so sure, it could seem good to claim that you own Bitcoin, which is valued at $177,000. That's fantastic, but you could have made a ton more money if you invested the same amount in something that increased in value only 5 times.